Governor Gretchen Whitmer giving more details on a plan to get relief to Michigan taxpayers who continue to suffer from the inflationary pressures in the economy.
Political reporter Rick Albin was in Lansing as the governor talked about how the plan she and Democratic leadership are pitching could help people who need it the most. Rick?
Sue Bryan, the governor's plan would boost retirees' income by repealing and standardizing the income tax on pensions. According to her numbers, saving about 500,000 households $1,000. The expansion from the earned income tax credit would get 700,000 people in the state, again, according to the governor's estimates, more than $3,100 in tax credits. But the new part of the plan that was first floated on Friday afternoon and talked about a one-time direct payment to all the people who file taxes. Now, the governor said today that check would be for $180 and would be in your hands as soon as the legislature approves, if they do. But what about that dust-up last week about an income tax rollback triggered by the state's ongoing glut of cash? Republicans accuse the governor of trying to do away with that. Her office denies it. But does today's announcement impact that? Governor, is this $180 check meant to replace the income tax rollback that is potentially scheduled for this year?
This $180 check dwarfs any help that, doing nothing and hoping that something that may or may not go into effect might assist people. Here's, I think, a really important way to look at it, Rick. We know that doing nothing will only give about $16 in relief to a single woman who is raising a family on $30,000 a year. 16 bucks over 52 weeks. That's 30 cents a week. That's not meaningful relief. Putting $180 in her pocket fast and then changing the earned income tax credit to the working families tax credit and boosting it to 30%, that's thousands of dollars for that same taxpayer. And that's why, we will follow up and provide materials for all of you so that you can see a lot of the charts. But this is how we give people who really need it the real relief right now and fast.
So that tax rollback is not going to happen?
We're not touching any sort of a trigger. I can just say that when we focus on these three methods of putting money back in people's pockets, we can guarantee it gets there, we can move fast, and it's a heck of a lot more meaningful for folks.
On top of the uncertainty about that rollback, her spokesman told us later today that rollback might be triggered, but it would only be in place for 1 year. Then it would have to be reviewed. If the state wasn't still awash in money, it would revert to the current 4.25% tax, not go on in perpetuity as the GOP has claimed. Ottawa County Senator Roger Victory says not so fast.
I take a little different look at it. We're looking at a 20 basis points rollback, serious tax relief for all Michiganders that pay the income tax component, and I look at that as a ongoing. So I take a disagreement to that perspective of the administration. That's where I'll be heading back to Lansing here tomorrow to dig into this issue.
So the governor has a plan, but will need Republican votes to get it into effect immediately. Republicans want income tax cuts. That's, as Senator Victory said, ongoing. By the way, he also said that $180 one-time check would be like a sugar high. What happens next will depend on Democrats' ability to hold their slim majorities on both ends of the Capitol together and attract enough Republicans to push that plan across the finish line. Brian?